I think that this is really a double-edged sword of this rule being changed, and there's a few ways to think about it. One, there is a lot of bad information about VA buyers. They are in some markets heavily looked down on. They can't afford a home. They can't do this, that. Yep. This is the side that I think will highlight how veterans are not bad buyers. It's just bad information about veterans trying to buy a home, because most veterans could potentially afford that 2 to 3% commission to pay their agent, right? There are some veterans that can't, and there are some veterans that can, just like there's FHA buyers that can and can't, and conventional, so on and so on. So I think if a veteran is able to pay that realtor's commission, it shows all agents in that transaction, veteran buyers is just as strong as your conventional or your FHA. There's no difference there. The downside I see to it is that these rules about charges and origination or anything like that to veterans have been in place to protect the veteran buyer and reduce their expenses. So going back to, if somebody doesn't have the extra 2 to 3% to pay their real estate agent's commission, this is where I see it hinders a veteran, right? How are they getting representation? How are they paying for everything? There's a lot more nuances, I think, that could hurt veterans in this case if that listing agent or that seller, is not able to accommodate a buyer's agent's commission. So it could hinder some folks. It could also shed some light that VA buyers are just as strong as any other buyer. But then I'm curious to see, when we're looking at our buyers, right? Is this going to shrink the pool of first-time home buyers for conventional as well? Is it going to shrink the pool for FHA? It's not just VA that the NAR settlement overall can impact. But right now we are highlighting the VA. And I think it's, we're going to see how it plays out. I think most markets like where we're at, we kind of have to maintain buyers and agents getting paid through the sale of the house, right? By the lister or by the seller, because we're in a heavily military town to where, 50% of our loans are FHA and VA. And stripping that away and just telling them you got to bring your own money to the table for that, I think we're going to see some houses sit on the market a little bit longer because of these new rules. But it all depends. It's kind of, the market is in a weird limbo of what's going to happen in the future. And I think the final release is supposed to be August 12th for NAR, and then this is supposed to take place June 12th for the VA. We're really going to have some light shedded on what's going on before going into the spring season, or the fall season.
So, there's a couple points there that I definitely have to add on to. So let's be clear, though.